Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is the Rode Podmic. This is a professional, high-quality, dynamic microphone with a really nice build quality to it that's aimed at podcasters. Now, I purchased this microphone along with a GoXLR Mini as a bundle on Amazon recently. It was actually really affordable. I was really surprised by how affordable that package was. Now, the GoXLR Mini is an interface that allows you to both power the microphone and give the various different channel routing for all different sorts of audio sources. I've done videos separately on what this is about, and also to compare it with the Razer audio mixer, which I've also done a video on, which is comparable in its setup. Now, both these devices are wonderful for powering this microphone and give you the ability to customize the sound, including introducing noise gate settings and adjusting all sorts of levels to make it sound nice. Now, I'm using the GoXLR, the full-size one, and the Rode Podmic at the moment to do the capture for the voiceover for this video, so you can already get an idea of what the sound quality is like. But I just want to quickly show you what the setup process is like for the microphone and what's included in the box and what isn't, and what you need to get started. Now, this is a reasonably affordable yet high-quality microphone, but obviously one that requires an XLR connection. It won't just plug into your computer with a USB cable, so you do need a little bit of extra expenditure in the form of several different things. One is obviously either a GoXLR Razer audio mixer or some similar interface for powering the microphone and giving you the controls to then connect it up to your PC or Mac. Inside the box, you get very little for your money. However, the first thing I was struck by was the quality of the thing. You could see from the initial shots, it's a very good looking microphone. You've probably seen pictures of it already, and it is very hefty. I was really surprised by the weight of it and overall aesthetic. It feels really solidly built, nicely constructed, and looks fantastic. You really don't get anything in the box at all, though. There's no XLR cable. There's no stand or mounting system at all. You do obviously have a thread here, however, to mount on various different boom arms. Naturally, I'm using it on a Rode PSA 1 Plus at the moment, and I'll show you that a bit later on. But it will mount on other boom arms, and I have tested other ones as well, and I'll show you some of that. So it will mount on any boom arm, but it is pretty heavy. Now, it's worth checking that out because it may lead to problems with some boom arms, especially cheaper ones. They might struggle with the weight of it. However, I haven't had any problems with the PSA 1 Plus. Naturally, makes sense for those two to go together. Now, you can see from these close-up shots, it is a magnificent looking thing. And it also sounds fantastic, as you can hear. Very comparable with the Shure SM7B, which is my usual microphone. And yet it doesn't require quite as much power. And that's an interesting point. I'm going to do a video separately to compare the two if you're interested. It is very rich sounding. However, there are some problems I will talk about later on in terms of the sound that it picks up from the surrounding area, and that's not necessarily background noise. On the underside, you'll see the XLR connection. As I said, there's no cable included in the box, so you will need to buy one separately. You also don't get one with a GoXLR either, so you need to buy that. So you've got three things at minimum to purchase, plus a boom arm if you have not got one already. One of the things I want to demonstrate, though, is the weight that I was talking about, because it is hefty. I think that's a good demonstration. 868 grams is how much this thing weighs, which is significant. I was surprised when I held it in the hand, so I wanted to do a comparison just to sort of show the difference between this microphone and the Shure. Now, the Shure SM7B is known for being a high-quality, fantastic microphone, and I've been using this for quite some time. You can see, despite its bigger size, it weighs less, 841 grams. Now, weight isn't obviously a measure of quality necessarily, but it is an interesting point. Now you can see I'm mounting the Rode Podmic on the Blue Compass boom arm. Tested it on a few different boom arms, mostly the Rode PSA 1 Plus and the Blue Compass, but I also did it on an NZXT mic arm as well, so try it on a few different things. And there's a simple little mounting system, really easy to set up. And then obviously just run your XLR cable from there to your interface. And then there are various steps to set up and go through the GoXLR settings in order to get the mic sounding nice. And I'll leave all the specs in the description of the microphone, but I'll also leave the settings that I used on the GoXLR in there as well. So you might find those useful as a baseline for setting up your mic and getting it sounding good. Hopefully that'll be useful. However, you do need to adjust it on a user by user basis and also consider your environment. And here I am with the Rode Podmic on a boom arm. This is on the Rode PSA1. You can see sort of distance I've got it from my face. A few things of note immediately. That the Podmic is designed for you to talk into the top of it. So you're essentially talking straight into it. So you have to think about that as an angle. Also, obviously, trying to get it close to your face means that you can keep the gain lower, which then means it will make it a lot easier for reducing the amount of background noise it picks up. Now, with the settings that I've got on the GoXLR, it's actually fairly good at avoiding the background noise and not hearing a lot of it. The fans are spinning on my PC at the moment, for example, and you can't really hear them. But you will also notice that if I start to talk around the side of it, you can't really hear me very well. You can still hear it, but you definitely need to be talking into the top. That is where the best sound is, and it gives you the best results here. And the other thing that you'll notice is that I have a wireless headset on at the moment, and this is the Astro 50, and I'm happy to report that with the GoXLR and also with the Razer audio mixer, you can just plug the base station in for those headphones and then mic monitor, so I can hear myself in the microphone right now as I'm recording this, which makes life a lot easier. Obviously, there's no mic monitoring as default with this sort of XLR microphone. You don't have a 3.5mm connection on there where you can monitor your microphone. You have to do it through your audio interface. This is a result. You don't need a wired headset in order to do that. You can still have some freedom if you have a wireless headset that has a 3.5mm connection. You can do something similar with the SteelSeries Arctis Pro Wireless, for example, and anything else that offers up a 3.5mm connection to the wireless dongle that then connects to your PC. So that's an option and something worth bearing in mind. Now I want to talk to you about the issues that I've got with this microphone. And before I start doing that, I'm going to quickly demonstrate an audio test of what the capture quality is like when you're typing. So I've got a Logitech G915 TKL here as an example. Now I like this keyboard because it's fairly quiet. It has reasonably quiet switches. They're not silent, but they're also not particularly loud. So if I do a little bit of typing, you should be able to hear a little bit of it, but not very much. And you can mostly hear it when I'm speaking. The noise gate settings are blocking it out otherwise. But it is very quiet keyboard, and the mic does a good job of ignoring that when you've got the right settings on the GoXLR. But one thing that I have noticed is that it does pick up some of the shocks from the desk. So if I tap on the desk, so you can hear quite a lot of that, and it is reverberating through. Now this is interesting, I think, and a bit of a problem. And there are some things to know about this microphone. So this has an internal shock mount inside there, and also an internal pop filter. So they say that you don't need a windshield and that you shouldn't need a shock mount. And obviously it's on a Rode boom arm, which is a premium boom arm. It is mounted to my desk though, so it's worth bearing in mind. Now this might be different in your setup. You might have a different desk, but this is a significant bit of wood. You can see the desk behind me. That's the same sort of wood. It's a nice thick proper wood, and yeah, it's still picking up that noise directly from the desk ping through the boom arm and into the microphone. So that's something to keep in mind if you've got a particularly wobbly desk or a thin flimsy one. Just avoid bumping the desk. Obviously if you're not bumping it, it's not a problem. As you can hear, fantastic sound when I was typing, fine. Should be fine for gaming and other things. Or if you've got a quiet environment where you're not likely to be bumping into things, that should be not an issue as well. But it's one thing that I picked up on, and I think it's worth knowing. So hopefully that's been useful. I'm going to do a video separately to compare this with the Shure SM7B, which you can see I have mounted on the blue compass over here. This is my main microphone, and with very similar settings on the GoXLR, I don't get sound from the desk picked up in that microphone. That's never been a problem. So that is worth bearing in mind, and I'll talk about that more in the other video. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful, interesting, hilarious, or otherwise. Take a look at these other videos that I think you might find interesting as well. And have a look at the description for links and other information you might find useful. Click that join button to see the benefits of being a member of my YouTube channel. And most importantly, have a great life.